Okay, please introduce yourself and your company.
Kyle from Green Image Property Maintenance out of York, PA.
How long have you been in the industry?
About 18 years.
And did you start the company yourself?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So it's something I've contemplated for years, but I did partner with 2 other people as well.
Okay.
And it was just time to do it. The market was right and it was time.
So tell us a little bit about the property that we're on today.
This is one of, I'd say, our mid-sized property. Gets mowed every week. It's 5 acres in total, I believe. On this one, it would normally be a 52 ZK and a 70 or a 61 ZK. Okay. And normally I would just let this one fly. But for today, we'll bag everything, show everyone how well it works. It is rather tall.
Have you always used Wright products in your business?
No. Well, this personal business, yes. In previous business, I've used Exmark, Skag, Kubota, John Deere. There have been several.
Safe to say that you have experience with pretty much most of the brands.
Yeah.
Okay, and what made you pick Wright?
I toured the facility after I saw the dual 72 in a trailer from KPM over at Hollinger's. And it was one of those, as soon as I walked by it, Rick at the time, I'm like, what is that? And he got the ball started and we actually toured the facility, met Ed, and had lunch with him. I like what they stand for. I like the units. I've put 750 hours on one of those 52 ZKs myself a couple years ago, and we had 0 issues with it. They just run.
What made you choose the WrightVac system for your mowers?
I like the fact that they run a bigger belt versus the smaller one that Exmark uses. I haven't had any issues with it breaking. The Exmarks just don't take the abuse as well. And I like the fact that everything on that system is solid metal. There is no plastic. They're a much more substantial system and they bag really well.
What specifically, what do you use the WrightVac for in your business?
Mostly leaves and then some smaller front yards or residential properties that we really don't have room to broadcast anything, or the higher end ones that actually need cleaned up. They want that finished, clean look.
How do you find the bagging capability of the WrightVac?
Fantastic. There's no issues with them tipping back. There's no blow out from underneath the deck like some other brands. They just work very, very well.
At a higher speed with the WrightVac than you would with another brand?
I would say, yeah. I mean, we can't really go too fast on some of the smaller front yards. So, I mean, it's kind of a toss-up, but they definitely go through it much quicker. There's no downtime of actually waiting for it to catch up, especially if it's really heavy grass, as there are on the other ones.
So when it's really, really heavy grass, you typically would deal with clumping, is that the issue?
In other brands, yes.
And it would clog?
Yep. Yeah, I haven't clogged one of these yet.
How have you found grass dispersal across the 3 bags in the back of the unit?
Fantastic.
Do you find that one fills more than the other?
The left one usually fills a little bit more just because of the velocity coming through, but it all evens out once it's full.
Have you found that the other bagging systems from other manufacturers fill in that same way, or was it one that filled more than the others?
It depends on whether the grass was wet or dry. If it was wet, the opposite on the right side would actually fill more just because it was kind of just falling in and barely making it up the chute. Versus dry grass, it's always going to be the left side.
So we're in middle of spring here. We're in the middle of Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And how would you describe the grass that we're going to cut today?
Today, dry. Everything should go very, very well.
Okay.
And we should be able to cruise through it.
How much do you think we're taking off here?
I'd say at least 1.5 inches, if not 2.
What would you say you found lacking in the other brands of vac systems?
Just the belt. The belt itself, we always had to carry at least 3 extras in the trailer just because you never knew when they were going to snap. And as far as lacking, just the durability of it. You know, when you make a pass with these, it's clean. There is nothing left behind. There's no stringers falling out of the deck. It's just clean.
What do you leave on? What do you take off?
I would take all of this off. Some properties I would leave this on.
Okay.
Some of them I would take it off depending on how whether we've got tight turns or anything, just it reduces chance for error.
To hit something.
Right. But they're really easy to take off.
So
It's
you're
2 pins in it.
dropping off the impeller.
Yep.
And the tube.
Yep.
But you may leave the bagging assembly on the back.
Yeah, depending on whether it's going to be in the way or not. Normally it's not. But if the guys are in a 10-acre field, I'll just take it off. That way it's extra, it's less resistance, and the guys can see exactly what they're doing.
How does the speed compare in terms of side discharging and bagging?
I slow down a little bit just because it is an extra drag on the engine. Doesn't seem to affect anything, but just to make sure everything's clean, I do slow down a little bit just for ease on equipment, not to beat it. But other than that, it really doesn't affect it much.
So have you always worked with Eblings in Mountville, Pennsylvania as your dealer?
Not always, but as far as this company goes, yes. I've worked with Eblings back when they were actually RS Hollingers back in 2010, somewhere in there. I'm on my second salesman because the first one, Rick, retired, but they've got fantastic customer service.
Is that what keeps you, well, I was gonna ask you next, what keeps you at
Absolutely,
Hollinger?
absolutely. If something were to go down, warranty work or anything like that, they're quick, but there's times where if I'm really in a pinch, like, hey, I don't have an extra mower right now, I can demo a different one, I can rent one from them. There's a lot of flexibility there, and you can tell that they know the industry, they know their products, and they care.